So you come out, you get all set up, you pull the handle, and nothing happens. What do you do then? Over the last couple of weeks, I've noticed that whenever I went to dump the gray tank, the flow seemed not as robust as it once did. And I had the thought, it looked to me like maybe something was starting to block up there. It was still draining, so it wasn't too bad, and I didn't think anything about it. Then a couple of days ago, we were at a campground where we have just water and electric hookup, which isn't a bad deal because this campground offers free honey wagon service. So they come along and they will dump your tanks for you. And so we scheduled them to do that, and they came out and did just exactly that. The next day, though, Sharon was doing dishes and discovered that the gray water backed up in the sink. Well, I went down and talked to the maintenance people, and they assured me that they had dumped the gray tank. So what's going on here? So I borrowed a Blue Boy, and I came up and I tried to dump it myself, and discovered that the flow coming out of the tank was just a trickle. Now then, we saw that the water in the sink was going down, so we were on the right track, but there was something else wrong. Something was blocking our ability to dump that main gray tank. So here's what we think's going on. This is what I think the problem is, and so we're going to draw a little schematic to kind of illustrate this. Down underneath the floor there is a tank. In our case it's the gray tank, and ours holds about 50 gallons or so, and we're going to draw it kind of like this and like here. Okay, so in this tank now we have got a couple of holes up in the top of it. One of them is the vent. So this goes up to the roof up here, and this is the vent line. Okay. This other one is one that goes up to probably a couple of things. One of them is going to be the sink, and there will be another line that comes off up here somewhere, and that will go up to the shower. Okay, over here, this is going to be the dump. So coming off this tank immediately, there is a valve. And we're going to draw it kind of like this. And there is a handle on this valve, like that. And then in our rig, this line goes on out to a central dump line. We're going to draw it kind of like this. And up here, this is the black tank. And in our rig, this other line here goes over to another gray tank. We're going to draw it like that, and we're going to put our valve here on it, just like we did the other one. It's got a handle on it too, and that's going to come in here like that. Okay. Also, the black tank has got a valve on it, so we will draw that in here like that, and it's got a handle on it as well. All right. So we have three tanks. This is the gray 1, we'll say. This is gray 2, and then we have black. Now then, in our rig, we've also this is the main dump line, and right at the very end, I've also got another valve that we put in there, and this has a handle on it as well. So we've actually got 4 valves. All right. So now then, so we'll just complete this, and right here, this is where you actually connect to either a dump station, a Blue Boy, or to your full hookup sewer connection. All right, so now then, what is the problem? What I think is going on is that we had the sink and the shower dumping in here into the gray. Now then, usually whenever everything is open, like if you're at a full hookup site, this is going to be open, that's going to be open, and everything's going to be flowing down. Probably not much of an issue. But we do know that there's going to be some grease from the sink. Now we try really hard not to let grease go down here, but there's going to be some grease and some food particles from washing dishes and the like. It's going to gather down in here. And particularly like when we're boondocking or traveling, it's going to start gathering up in here. And what I think is happening is that this is slowly built up kind of a dam right in here. So now then, whenever we open the tanks to dump, even though we may have a water level up here, this is blocking it. So not all of this water is coming out. It's certainly not coming out fast. And recent experiences is not coming out hardly at all. We're getting a little bit of a trickle, but not much. So what's the plan going forward? What I think we're going to do is this. If we have the black tank closed, of course, and gray tank 1 over here closed, and I open this tank, this is the, I'll call it the final gate valve here, and we open gray 1, we're not going to get much fluid coming out of here because, well, it's blocked. So my thought is that we're going to take a hose and we're going to run it up here and back up in here and physically break through this wall, this dam, this blockage, whatever it is here. I think that's going to work. So that's what we're going to try. And if I get a hose and do this, then I'll also have the opportunity to open the hose up and maybe blast some of this out. And we'll see how that works. That's what we're going to try. Okay, so this is what we've got here. This is the hose that we bought, and you can see I cut the end of it off, and we've got it hooked up to our black tank back flush hose through a Y connector just for the valve. And this is what we're going to try and clear that blockage with. Okay, so here we are at the this final valve that I have got on here, and we're going to take that off. And theoretically, if I open this, it should be dry. Let's see what happens. It might not be. Usually, you frequently get a little bit of leakage here. Yep, a little bit of leakage. All right, so we're going to have to get the Blue Boy before we go any further. I don't want that stuff on the ground. And we'll also go in and wash our hands. Okay, well, we followed through with our plan. We got the Blue Boy, we got the hose, and we threaded it up through the blockage, and we got a lot of junk out. Now then, I had thought about filming that, and then after we got it done, we decided that it was not all that photogenic. So just trust me, we did it. And so we've closed it up. We got a couple of Blue Boys of water out of the tank now. And so now then the other thing we've done is we have gone to the store and we got some of this stuff. Whatever it's called a waste digester, and it has enzymes in it and stuff like that. And we're going to put that in there. And then we've also scheduled the Honey Wagon to come and service us again in a couple of days. And we will see what happens then. All right, we've had success. We got a bunch of grease and chunks of stuff out of the gray tank that was blocking the dump line. So we're all set now. Sharon's happy. She can do dishes and take showers and all that stuff, and we don't have backup in the sink. So what have we learned from all of this? I have always paid a great deal of attention to the care and maintenance of the black tank. I now know that you need to share some of that care with the gray tanks. So from here forward, we're going to be adding treatment to the gray tanks as well to make sure they don't get that buildup and block the lines again. So that's what we're doing. I hope you've learned something from it. From my experience, that's always the best teacher, is the experience of other people. So pay attention to that, and I'm sure you won't have any trouble. you like this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done already, and we will see you next time. Thanks.